All Access. An inside look at what it takes to operate Iowa's largest entertainment and convention facilities. This is Iowa Events Center All Access. From Iowa Everywhere.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of All Access here on the Iowa Everywhere Podcast Network. Matt Van Winkle, Adam Flack, Director of Marketing at the Iowa Event Center, joins me once again. Adam is well rested after a long road trip to the Smoky Mountains with his family. Adam, how was the trip?
Well rested is right. I mean, sitting in a car for 10 hours yesterday was enough to, a lot of windshield time, but the trip was amazing. We've
Nice.
done some different family vacations, and this was by far, probably our favorite one for the five of us. I mean, my kids range in age from 8 to 17. And so between the three of them, it's really somewhat difficult to find things that all three of them will stay entertained and enjoy. But from horseback riding to mountain, like those alpine coasters, we did a couple hikes. It was a really good trip. And, I don't know if you've ever been there, but the Louisville Slugger Museum in Louisville, we stopped there on the way down. Have you been to that museum before?
Never been before. I'm a huge baseball fan, so that's something I got to put on my list for sure. Sound like it pretty cool. You got to swing some, like a Willie Mays bat or something like that?
Yeah, so they've got all these different bats, but they've got actual bats that you can go in and hold and get your pictures taken with. And, of course, they've got a guy with gloves on so you don't, get your fingers on the bats. But then we're like walking through and we do the whole tour thing, and they're showing us how they make the bats, and we're actually getting to see how they become from a tree down into a bat, how they paint the bats and put the markings on them. But then we go back to this back part, and there's a batting cage back there, and so we got, like, for $2 you get 10 swings, and you get to pick the bat that you use. So we went through the first time, and I picked Ken Griffey Jr.'s bat, and it's a replica. It's the size, weight, color, everything, and that was pretty cool. And then I went back. We went through a second round, and I swung Willie Mays' bat. So it was pretty neat to feel the differences in the two bats.
Yeah, Griffey, from what I remember, always had a longer bat, and Mays' was always swing a heavy bat.
It was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Definitely not used to swinging a bat that heavy. Of course, it's been 25 years since
Gives you some perspective on these guys' strength, and it's just pure
it really
athleticism.
does. Yeah, and it's a pitching machine that it's not like it's throwing it real hard, but it was stepping into the batting cage for the first time in a really long time. Was took me back some years, but took me a couple swings to get used to it again.
Did it humble you a little bit?
It did. I got my 14-year-old son there watching. Just I'm pretty sure I hit a couple dingers if you really want to know, but. He was swinging in sandals, and there were a couple that went straight down. I was a little worried he was going to take one off the foot, but it was all fun.
I'll have to add that to my list. We went up to Minnesota for a few days, kind of did some lake time, and we had a good time. But my kids are much younger, so I'm looking forward to those days when we can do some more experience trips like that. And it sounds like you had a good time. That's awesome. It's kind of fun to explore different parts of the country.
Yeah, we stopped up at University of Tennessee on the way home. And I went to the bookstore and saw the football stadium. And as a big Iowa State fan, you think, 61,000 people, like, that's a big stadium. It's a lot of fun. And then you go and you see Neyland Stadium that seats over 100,000 people. Just the size and the scope of some of those SEC stadiums. It's pretty big down there.
Well, hey, we're going to talk about some cool new announcements you guys have coming up at the Iowa Event Center, some cool new events that you guys have never had before. We had some cool events that happened in our state this past weekend. But let's jump back to last Thursday. You guys had Barry Manilow as the last Des Moines show. How did that go?
The show went incredible. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because we were on vacation, but everything that I've heard, my parents went to the show. Sounds like it was a great show. One of the cool parts about the event was the Manilow Music Foundation did a contest, and they do it in every market. But we basically helped them select 10 teachers to take part in this contest, and they need to teach a musical instrument, so not vocal teachers or whatever. So we connected the foundation with all of the Polk County band directors or band teachers to gauge their interest in taking part. And it was done through voting, and so they were encouraged to get people to vote on the teacher that would win. And Scott Hook out of Ankeny Centennial High School won that award. So pretty cool. He got to go down, and him and 9 of his friends got tickets to the show, got to meet Barry, and he was awarded $5,000 plus an additional $5,000 in musical instruments through the Manilow Music Foundation. So really cool overall experience for Scott.
That's really cool. That's very cool. Yeah, it looks like a great crowd. He brings a big band with him, I'm sure, too. And you can see from the stage there, from these pictures, if you're watching with us on YouTube.
Yeah,
looked like quite a performance. He's a true performer.
He is, and I guess you saw Tim McGraw come out in the Caitlin Clark jersey, right? And
yeah,
Tim McGraw, he's probably pushing 60 years old now, just real cut up and wearing that medium jersey. He borrowed TJ Otzelberger's jersey, I guess, the Caitlin Clark. Barry Manilow came out in a Caitlin Clark jersey as well.
Did he really?
He did. There are photos that I've seen of him in. Now his was not tight fitting at all. It was from the looser genre, almost like when LeBron was at the NBA draft. With those suits they were wearing back then. But I don't know where it's going to stop. How many more musical acts will put on a Caitlin Clark jersey as they come through Des Moines?
Well, she's buying herself a lot of goodwill. She did a really cool thing in the Des Moines community this past weekend, where she came and presented backpacks and stuff to kids at North High School and kids in the area. That was a pretty cool move by her. So she keeps doing stuff like that. I think you're going to get a lot more fans of hers. Maybe even some Iowa State fans that trickle over. We'll see.
I think there are plenty of Iowa State fans that are big Caitlin Clark fans, including my daughter, who wears a Caitlin Clark shirt twice a week almost. So, no, that was pretty cool. I did see that in the news that it was like 350 or something. So, always appreciate those local entertainers, athletes that come back and don't forget about where they came from. So kudos to Caitlin.
For sure. Hinterland was this past weekend as well, down in St. Charles. It's really becoming one of the premier summer music festivals in the Midwest. They had Vampire Weekend, Hosier, and then Noah Khan was the big headliner yesterday. Looked like a ton of people out there. I know they sold a ton of tickets to that. It was hot, though. I know that's the one thing people were saying. It was pretty hot. I don't know. You had some friends that went to the show, Adam?
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I knew a couple different people, not from Des Moines. One came down from London, Ontario in Canada to go to the show. And I was like, why are you coming to Des Moines? He's like, well, I just want to go to Hinterland. I'm like, you heard about it up there? He's like, yeah, it's just something that I've always wanted to go to. So he came down. I'm not sure how many days he was here, but I know for sure Sunday. Yeah. And then had our marketing director down in Lexington, Kentucky at Rupp Arena actually came to Hinterland on Sunday as well. So I was just there a few weeks ago. I think I told you about that. I went down to see the venue and do some trainings. So then I was back there staying overnight on our way back from vacation while she was up in Des Moines for Hinterland. So pretty cool to see that the reach of Hinterland has grown internationally, people coming from all over. Sounds like a lot of people, sounds like a lot of lines, but I wasn't there, so I really can't comment on that part of it, but sounds like they tried to make some adjustments Saturday and Sunday.
It's really interesting. I mean, if you haven't been down there, I'm curious as it's grown to its capacity right now, like really seem like they are at capacity as far as size. Like, I'm curious if they'll look to like expand on those grounds. They've got a lot. I think they have space out there. I think when we talked to Sam, he said he bought a lot of the land around there, for the campgrounds and all that stuff like that. So I'm curious how, like, the future of that music festival and how it continues to evolve and grow to meet the demand of this type of music festival, this type of show here in this part of the country, because it was competing. I mean, not competing. The same weekend as Lollapalooza in Chicago, so a lot of those acts came to Hinterland. There was one that I saw a video. It was like Chapel Roan. I don't know if you've heard of her, but like the Millennium Park in Chicago is where they have Lolla. It was like 100,000 people of her like singing and dancing her music. I never heard of her, but she played Hinterland too. So it sounds like they timed it out with Lolla and kind of get some of those crossover acts too. But I'm just curious how this thing keeps growing. Like, can they keep growing where they're at? I'm not sure.
Right. Well, and I thought I remembered Sam being on a CW pod or something and talking about, kind of the scheduling and why they schedule where they do. And if I remember correctly, he mentioned something about, if you piggyback with some of those other summer festivals, you can get the acts, and
Yep.
it's easier for them. So, yeah, I don't know if it's a date change because it's so hot, but the main thing was the way that it's kind of bowled in there. Like there's great natural sight lines.
Right.
So if they made it too much bigger, I don't know what that would mean for the intimacy of it and just the natural flow of that hill. I mean, to me, it seems like a pretty cool setup. I might just have to restrict tickets or, I don't know, do another stage somewhere else.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like where you guys are, you can sell what you can sell at the arena, right? But at a music festival, you're like, well, maybe if we moved it a little bit farther back or, stuff like that, move the stage back, allow more people down below. But I'm not sure those logistics. That would be interesting to talk to Sam again about that. But looked like it was another really successful weekend down in St. Charles at Hinterland. Hey, you guys have some cool announcements coming up. The Iowa Wild single game tickets went on sale this week, pre-sale.
Yeah, they're going on pre-sale this week, and then general public on sale later this week. So any of those games, schedule was announced a couple weeks ago. Now you can get your single game tickets, where before it was all mini packs and season tickets. So that's all out there. I'm sure the Wolves schedule will get released here soon. I know they're doing some final tweaks and stuff. It typically becomes NHL first, then NBA, and then obviously the AHL and G League come after that. So we're hopeful that we get that Wolves schedule here soon. But yeah, the Wild are out there and on pre-sale now, so you can go out and get your tickets for any one of their 36 home games.
And the other big announcement you guys have coming this week, Disney on Ice, as it does every year, is coming back to Wells Fargo Arena Thanksgiving weekend all the way into December 1st. 9 performances over the 4 days. This is a fun one for the family, and this one always sells so well for you guys.
Yeah, it always does they do a great job. They put in different parts of the roster of Disney and Pixar and kind of put a compilation show together most of the time. I think we've got Mickey's Search Party or something this year is what the show is titled. It's such a fresh announcement. I'm not sure what all is taking part in the show, but you can go to DisneyOnIce.com or you can go to IowaEventCenter.com to kind of see what acts will be a part of the show for this year. But yeah, tickets will go on pre-sale for our Cyber Club and Iowa Everywhere listeners here later this week. And then we'll go on public on sale next week. So we'll have some codes to share to the Iowa Everywhere audience that you can get your pre-sale tickets before the general public.
Fantastic. Yeah. Highly recommend getting those as early as you can, because if you wait until like the week before, things are pretty picked over. So make sure you get those tickets early when you can. Because again, those do sell pretty quick, don't they?
Yeah. And most of the time, your cheapest ticket for that show, your cheapest ticket's going to be on the on sale. They do some dynamic pricing. And so as the tickets continue to sell and those hot performances, whether it's the Friday at 11 or the Saturday at 11, those high demand performances, those ticket prices tend to go up as we get closer, where, if you can get those early, that will be available for you right there on the Iowa Everywhere page. But
if you look on the Iowa Event Center calendar right now, you'll see kind of a little bit of a gap in no musical artists. Well, there's a reason for that, right? The State Fair is underway starting this Thursday, running for the next couple of weeks. They've got a pretty good lineup, too, coming to the fair. Jelly Roll, Greta Van Fleet, Brett Young, Need to Breathe, Thomas Rhett, Motley Crue, the Avett Brothers. So a really diverse lineup this year at the fair. And then that kind of culminates all leading up to the big Luke Bryan show at Wells Fargo Arena, August 24th. And a guy that you guys have been really looking forward to having for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like every time we tried to book Luke Bryan, he would go to a cornfield somewhere else with that farm tour. So we're actually going to play off that a little bit for his artist welcome. And, we're going to we're creating some artwork that kind of includes Colfax and Cedar Falls. He's played there a bunch, and Boone. So, we'll have some fun with that. The fact that, we're finally getting him in year 20 here. It's close to having him, and then COVID changed our plans for us in 2020. So yeah, August 24th is Luke Bryan. We're really looking forward to that one. Some great openers with him as well. And then before that, we got Five Finger Death Punch, which has seemed to make a regular stop in Des Moines over the past few years. So we're hoping that people continue to come out and see them as well as we head into the fall, and hopefully a lot more announcements coming up soon.
The best part of that Luke Bryan show, Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Yeah. Saturday shows, you can't beat that. leading in, perfect for the weekend as your kind of kids are getting school started around that time too. So, man, it's kind of leading up to a busy time for you guys as we head into the fall as well.
Yeah, school start times are somewhat getting interesting to me. Like, we're starting this year on a Friday, so like August 23rd, we start on a Friday. They go one day and then get a weekend. I don't know how the calendar works out to do that. Maybe it's a good day to get everybody acclimated to their new classrooms or something. Yep. I don't know. It seems
my daughter's starting kindergarten this year, and it's on a Friday. So
yeah, and we were actually on our drive. We were looking at the calendar for over the holidays.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure school comes back, at least in one of our kids' schools, on a Friday, like January 2nd or 3rd, whatever that is. Mm-hmm. So not only do they start on a Friday in the fall, but they come back from holiday break for a Friday and then have another weekend. So
weird.
Kind of screws with people's travel plans. I wonder how many people will not be at that first Friday back.
Bring all your Christmas presents to school day or something. Yeah. Hey, you guys have another unique event that's coming to Hy-Vee Hall coming August, September, and October. The Iowa Demon Hawks are hosting 3 exhibition games at Hy-Vee Hall. Tell us about what this is all about, Adam.
Yeah, so the Iowa Demon Hawks, I mean, I honestly don't have a ton of information about them other than they're a major arena league soccer team. So they're indoor soccer. I believe they've played at least one season in Des Moines, if not a couple. We'll learn more from them as we go along. But yeah, doing 3 exhibition games, which is pretty cool. And they're going to be in Hy-Vee Hall. So they'll be in kind of that more intimate environment where you get to get up close and personal with these teams. But in terms of the schedule for us, Saturday, August 24th, same night as Luke Bryan, will be the Demon Hawks versus Brazil. And then Friday, September 20th, there's an exhibition, Brazil versus Mexico. And then on Saturday, October 5th, we got USA versus Brazil. So 3 different competitions, all in Hy-Vee Hall. Tickets are not on sale yet, but they will be soon via HyVeeTix.com. And we'll look forward to doing some giveaways here with the All Access show as well.
Nice. Haven't heard of the Demon Hawks or seen them play, but yeah, arena soccer. We know arena football, indoor football here in Des Moines at the Barnstormers, but yeah, Hy-Vee Hall hosting it. Will those be? Do you know times on those? Will those be earlier, like afternoon type games, or?
I would assume they'll be evening, but I don't know. It's so early. We're just getting this information out there now. I'm assuming they're working on the timing and stuff soon, so we'll have updates for you next week.
Nice. Just a quick recap, too. We got Five Finger Death Punch Monday, August 19th. Luke Bryan, Saturday, August 24th. As we talked about, NBA preseason coming October 11th. And then Alabama, Saturday, October 19th. I haven't talked about that one, but that's another fall show that you guys announced.
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 weeks now since we announced that Alabama show.
Yeah.
Again, another legendary performer. It's been around for, 50 years of music. So the best of country music coming into Wells Fargo Arena.
For sure. Well, as Adam said, HyVeeTix.com for all those. And please stay tuned to the Iowa Everywhere social media accounts for some of those exclusive discounts for tickets that we're going to be offering to some of our listeners as well. So a lot of cool stuff coming, Adam. It's you guys are kind of ramping back up, summer into fall, and before we know it, Disney on Ice will be here again.
Yeah, it's been an interesting summer. We don't have as many shows scheduled or announced yet. I know of a few that will probably be coming soon.
Cool.
But we're spending our time. We're doing a new website for Iowa Event Center.
Nice.
And again, we're entering our 20th year. So believe it or not, next summer, Wells Fargo Arena will celebrate their 20th anniversary next July. And so, and Hy-Vee Hall will celebrate here at the end of this year. So a lot of cool things coming up, more announcements to be making here soon. But appreciate the support of everybody over at Iowa Everywhere.
Absolutely. And if you haven't had a chance to, go check out the interview we did last time on All Access with that new junior ballroom that you guys are opening up very soon over in the Hy-Vee Hall area too. So that should be your first event, probably coming right up for that one.
Our first event is this month. We're just, nice. Furniture is getting moved in and things are rolling. We just switched over all of our digital signage in the convention center. So that's all up and running. So most things are in place and ready to go. First event here this month, and then available for weddings and banquets and meetings for anybody that's interested. Just call us at 564-8000.
IowaEventCenter.com. Adam, appreciate you, man. This was fun. All Access, another one in the books. We'll see you guys next time here on the Iowa Everywhere Podcast Network. It's All Access.